So, Christina, I'm wondering if you could share a little bit with us about what you are typically hearing from districts who are wanting to make that shift. What's driving them to make the shift from reactive referrals to proactive database screening?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ashley. I mean, I think as we've seen, one of the things that's really driving that change is staff capacity. You have staff who are saying this isn't sustainable. There aren't enough people who are specialized in this kind of training for behavior work or mental health support to meet the needs of all of those students that are being referred. I also think a huge focus that I'm very passionate about is the focus on equity. That referral model has a lot of human component to it. It's relying on the lens with which our staff are coming into the building that day, the lens that they're viewing their students, the lens that they're viewing their own skill set as an educator. It's really relying so much on that human emotional element. And sometimes our students are receiving kind of the brunt of that, and students are being referred that perhaps don't need support, or they're being referred for the wrong thing because the naked eye isn't able to really understand what is the skill need here? What is the internalizing behavior, right? Those referrals come to us and it just says, student is throwing chairs against the wall, student is ripping paper off of the hall, in the hallway. That's not giving us a lot to go off of. That's really just observational data. So being able to that focus on one, we don't have time. We don't have time to use this referral model, which means it's not working. Just like academics, you can't intervene your way out of a tier one problem, right? It's the exact same model in the behavior world as we're realizing referral model is pretty antiquated. It's not equitable, and it's not actually leading to student outcomes. It feels really good in the moment, right? Because it feels really good to be able to like raise your white flag and say, hey, I need help. And we don't want educators to stop doing that. However, we need to support that and scaffold that with a more comprehensive screening tool to make sure that we're equitably meeting the needs of students in all classrooms, not just those ones that have those teachers that are really waving their hands saying they need help.
And I think too, a screener can also help validate some of the things that teachers are bringing to the table, right? They can bring it
Absolutely.
can bring light to that, but it can take it deeper in the way that now we can identify topics of need and we can really
Exactly.
plan for support in a more effective way. So just again, thinking about that intentionality that we
Mhm.
have when we're trying to support students, I think that that's a big part of moving to universal screening as well. Now, we think about change, right? Change is always hard. So when we are asking districts or when districts are having conversations with their staff about kind of moving away from this referral model into a universal screening model, how have you seen them kind of manage staff reactions or have you had to coach through any of
Yeah,
that?
I think also reflecting on my own career, I probably didn't manage that change management approach as well as I would have liked. I think a lot of the people really deeply believe in the need for this screening model because we know what we would do with it. And I think that as a practitioner, I have missed that follow through with trying to make change in my staff. So I think staff here, we're moving away from a referral model and we're moving to a screener model. And they hear, very justifiably so, we're no longer going to listen to you when you need help. And I think it's so important to really acknowledge that and make sure that your staff, who are the ones especially that are there in these classrooms day in and day out, experiencing these behaviors, validating that, justifying that, and then saying, here's the outcome that we are hoping to have once we adopt this screener. This is an idea of the small groups that we'll be able to create. This is the idea of, this is the data-driven decision-making process that the core team is going to go through with that data. We're also always telling educators, well, you have to do another screener, you have to do another assessment, but we often aren't explaining what we're going to do with that data. So if we're going to ask teachers to take a risk on something like moving to a screener model, we need to show them what we're planning to do with that data and how we're still going to support them on the day-to-day level, and also acknowledging it's not a this for that. We're not saying we're no longer going to take any referrals because we're taking on this screener model. Like you were saying earlier, Ashley, like how powerful to get a behavior referral from a teacher and then say, hey, let's compare what you're seeing with the screener results so we can really work faster to pinpoint the skill that we need to address for that student.